Today on Belmont Park Live, it was just a week ago. Brian Bakes Cookies was in the winner's circle. That was on a sloppy main track. Going to go back-to-back this time on the grass. In today's 8th, Bouncy is just one start to his name, but he overcame trouble, circled the field from last to first, and is out to prove that win was for real. And a date with destiny is set for Justify with 2/3 of the Triple Crown in the books. Can he deliver in the Belmont? The test of the champion on June the 9th. We'll talk about what lies ahead for Justify next in just a couple of weeks. Welcome to Belmont Park Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Beautiful weather here. And do we have room for one more? 12 Triple Crown champions. Bob Baffert, of course, with American Pharoah, the last back in 2015. Baffert trying to become just the second trainer ever to campaign 2 Triple Crown winners. That will happen with Justify here on June the 9th. Greg Wolf alongside former New York Met, LA Dodger, Paul LaDuca, Andy Serling, our New York Racing Association handicapper. Maggie Wolfendale joins us in just a little bit. I love discussion right behind us. Spirited debate about what's going to happen with Justify in the Belmont. We'll talk about it ourselves here in a few moments, but New York is excited about it. Today's card, part of the late pick, we have the whole late pick 4 coming up, but 3 races on the turf. We got beautiful weather and a very good sequence ahead.
Yeah, and besides race number 8, we really don't have that many scratches. You're right. Turf racing is the key. 11 in the first leg. Starts off with a good 11. All this race, that's how difficult I thought this was in the late pick 4. I think you can make some dividends today.
I think it's remarkable there's a 2-to-1 favorite in the board in this race, because this race seems to be wide open to quite a few contenders. I agree. And Bouncy, you mentioned, Greg, in the feature, she looks like she could be a very nice horse based on her debut win.
You got to love horses or sequences where you can maybe punch the all button and you have a horse like Bouncy to go to that's going to be like 3 to 5.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. This 6 looks very competitive with more on this field. Let's check in with the 4th member of our team, Maggie Wolfendale.
Thanks, guys. And they are on the walking ring for this 6th race, and a good-looking cast of several horses assembled here in the paddock. We'll check in with one, though, who is coming in off the back of a maiden win and will be his first start here in New York. That's the 11 Outback Bob here for trainer Ralph Nix. Now, just so everybody knows, he will be the first one going out to the track. From my understanding, he's a bit of a bad actor, and he was certainly strutting his stuff, if you know what I mean. But nonetheless, he is a very good-looking type. He's extremely well-conditioned here in the paddock. Yes, he got a dream trip last time out in breaking his maiden at Gulfstream, but then again, he does look up to the challenge here. It's just, does he mind his P's and Q's, as we do see Jose Ortiz getting a leg up on him as they are reunited once again. Moving on to a horse who's coming off the back of a layoff. That's number 3, Follow the Signs for Steve Asmussen. And he's actually second off the claim, too. This is the best I've ever seen this horse look. He's actually looking stronger and extremely fit. In the past, he's had the propensity to get a little washy, get a little nervous and warm. Not the case today. He's very focused, nicely on the bridle. I think we're looking at an improved Follow the Signs here, as hopefully he'll offer a little bit of value on the board here, guys.
All right, Maggie, thank you for that. Follow the Signs right now, 8-1 on the board. Let's take a look at today's races. 6th race kicks off the late pick 4 sequence, mile and a 16th on the turf. 50,000 starter allowance, our only main track event of the sequence in the 7th. 6.5 furlong sprint. We go a mile and a 16th on the inner turf, race 8. We'll close things out. 7,500 maiden claiming group, mile on the Widener turf in that nightcap. Track conditions brought to you by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of Belmont Park. Piranha on, pests gone. Beautiful. Thursday afternoon, main track is not muddy. We are fast and firm today. We'll get that sorted out. But yeah, beautiful weather, fast and firm, and all good for a great day to play the action this afternoon.
I'm looking forward to betting this race. I'm going to bet the 4 horse in this race, Zafiro to win, and I'm going to box 3, 4, 8 in the exacta. All these horses are good prices. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they're all overlays, all 3 of them. And right now, I think there's overlays galore, Paul, because the 6 not in charge is not a 2-to-1 shot on paper.
No, he's not. First of all, I picked this horse, but I didn't no way I would pick him at 2-to-1. Now, having that said that, my pick 4 ticket is all. So I agree with Andy. You got to search for prices in this race.
Interesting pick, Zafiro, the 4. I thought the big chance from that horse, too. One of just a couple with multiple wins in this race. We start off our post parade with the 11 from the outside. Outback Bob for Ralph Nix.
Blew a lot of people out of the Rainbow 6 carryover when he won his last, slipping up the rail. He would have to improve for a trainer who does not have good numbers off maiden wins and turf races.
Making his third career start off a maiden score at Gulfstream. We go to the 1 here. Century Shug McGahee, blinkers on.
Could do worse than Shug McGahee at a big price. And this one's almost 20-1. We got a perfect trip to beat Weaker last time.
Speed player with the 2 and a speed rider, and Kendrick Carmouche on Harlan's hunch.
Yeah, you're right. Speed is the name of the game. 0 for 9 on the turf is this 4-year-old gelding. Last time got DQ'd from 3rd to 5th.
Follow the signs at 3 could show pace as well for Steve Asmussen. David Cohen rides.
Ran remarkably well in his last start in early December when he was involved in the wicked pace and held on for 3rd. That was off the claim from Chad Brown.
Zafiro, he has been popular in the claim box of late. Claimed each of his last 3. Now he's with Jorge Abreu.
He's in good form, too. A 2nd and a 1st, and now a little bit of a layoff for Mr. Dub.
Atlantic Force just claimed by Jeremiah Engelhardt. He's 24-1.
Much as I respect Jeremiah Engelhardt, this is one on paper that would need to improve substantially.
Favorite is not in charge for Alan Goldberg.
This one last time got put up via DQ to 3rd. There wasn't much that hindered him at all, but it looks like he wants to go maybe a little bit further at 1.25 miles. He's going to get 1 mile and 16th today.
Here's King of Spades, son of Street Cry for Bruce Brown.
Finished a length and a quarter behind 2-1 not in charge last time, despite being badly interfered with in the stretch. Why is he 14-1?
Horse we talked about in the Open. He just won a week ago. That was on a race that was washed off the grass. He won going away on that occasion. Brian bakes cookies.
I guess Wolfie doesn't bake his cookies every week. But yeah, off a week layoff. Going to try to do it for the first time. But 1 for 15 on the turf.
10 horses, Here Comes Your Man, trained by Anthony Dutrow. A win and missed by a head last out.
Finally got it done. I'm sorry.
A very consistent horse. I mean, if you look, 5 starts here at Belmont, 4 seconds and a 3rd. I mean, 7-1, I get it on the win end, but a horse you want to put underneath.
Yeah, we're going a little out of order here. Back to the 9 here, Andy. Ode to the Hunt.
Got a perfect trip to beat Lesser last time out.
25-1 on Ode to the Hunt. So a lot of ways you could go in this race. And as you said, probably nobody should be 2-1 in this spot. And the horse who currently was a horse who was 6-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, and the public's going to the 2 horses that were okay on number-wise. Now the 2 is taking no money here, Harlan's hunch. And I think the public's thinking, okay, gets to the front end, is there going to be enough pace pressure to put him away?
I don't know what the public thinks, because the public has been incredibly smart recently. Now, a lot of those have been Wesley Ward trained horses, and this one is trained by Alan Goldberg. I guess they must believe that this one needed a race off the layoff last time out and will run better, because he didn't really run better than a number of horses coming out of a blanket photo. 4 horses from his last race that were all at the wire together come back in this race, and he is clearly the favorite among them.
But if he improves off what he did in that last race, how dangerous is he?
Well, he has 2 races, Greg, that would beat this field, but they were both at 1.25 miles. He might be a horse that's better with more distance.
Yeah, good point.
Make a good point there. He does. And if
Not that he can't win.
No, you're right, though. When they went fast. First of all, the first 1.25 mile race they went fast. But then he earned it the second time when he ran second.
Those were good races. Memories of Peter's
very
good horse.
Good races, yeah. So I think maybe the public's thinking he's the one that sits the trip with all the speed in here.
I don't know. I've stopped trying to think what the public's thinking. Sometimes I feel like they just know. I'm very interested in the 4 Zafiro here. Maybe we can talk about him in a minute.
Yeah, let's get you those updated track conditions real quick and set that straight again. They're brought to you by Piranha. Piranha on, pests gone. As we told you, it's beautiful weather. Main track fast. There we go. Turf course firm. And 3 of our 4 races this afternoon will be contested over the turf. Pick 4 starts here. How are you going to play it, Paul?
Well, I told you, I think this race is difficult. We've got to get some value in here. All 3-4 in the next race. O'Shea, can you see? Of course. 5 and 8 in race number 8. You could single Bouncy. I'm going to use Momentiempo, the 8, and then Stock Trade and the entry in race number 9. They're going to be your 2 favorites in there. $44, and I think you'll get that.
All right, there it is. Great day to be out at the racetrack. Beautiful Thursday afternoon and a Triple Crown on the line soon. He's got to come back June the 9th. We'll be back. More coming up. Stay with us.
It's Run Happy in front. Limousine Liberal, Holy Boss can get him. Run Happy has won the Naira.com Kings Bishop by 4.
Kentucky Derby winner Orb has emerged as one of the nation's most promising young stallions. The leading freshman sale sire of weanlings, yearlings, and 2-year-olds, his first runners are off to a fast start. His debut winners have dazzled on the track, scoring on both dirt and turf. In the sales ring, his yearlings continue to command top prices, including the $1 million co-sale topper at Saratoga. Outstanding value, outstanding results, Orb standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live. I want to remind everyone to play along with the races on today's show for no money at all risked with the Belmont Showdown. Player with the highest daily mythical bankroll earns 50,000 Naira Bets points. That's equal to money into your account. Every race you win in the Showdown earns you a sweepstakes entry for a spot in the Saratoga Challenge on August 10th at Saratoga Racecourse. Get started at Naira.com/showdown to place your picks and complete for the top spot on the leaderboard. There is a look at a long shot that Andy was intrigued with more on Zafiro. Let's go to Maggie.
And I'm intrigued to hear what Andy says about Zafiro. Now, going back to his last race, in which he was going out for high percentage connections in that 16 non-3 life. And I did like the way he finished. Once he switched leads from in between horses, he really kicked away from that field. But he should have. He was the favorite that day, and I think he's facing a lot tougher competition. He is a bit on the smaller side overall, and just relative to the rest of the horses in here, he kind of lacks in stature. But I will say that beneath Jose Lezcano, he did get a nice warm-up, and he was moving very nicely across the track. So I would foresee him kind of sitting up towards the front end in probably that second flight of horses. We'll see if he has that same kick as he did last time. Moving on to one coming off a short layoff is number 8, Brian Bakes Cookies. Thought he looked great from all points, from all aspects. Weight-wise, energy-wise, I think he's ready to run a good effort off the back of that win. And then finally, number 7, King of Spades, had the worst of it last time after being put up to 4th after just getting clobbered, and thought once again he looks great as he is second off the bench, guys.
Loading up here, Andy. Let's go back to your 4 and a horse who's a big price, almost 20 to 1 right now. What did you like about him?
His owner, Mike Dubb, is one of the sharpest claiming owners in the game. George Abreu, his trainer, was assistant for Chad Brown. He's claimed 2 horses on the turf for trainer Michael Dubb, and he's only been on his own for about a year. One of them won at $23. The other one was second at a big price. The winner improved his buyer figure 13 points. The second improved at 11 points. This is a horse that's not far from being fast enough on paper and has back races that are fast enough to be competitive here. And there's a certain angle with the trainer and owner. It's a big price. I think he's an interesting play for those reasons.
We know his Jose Lezcano very good on the turf as well. We learned that at Saratoga last year.
I'm with you. Listen, the 3 can win this race, too. I think we haven't talked about him. The 2 can win this race.
The 8 can win this race.
Yes, the 8 can win this race.
The 8's a better turf horse than dirt horse, and he won last time in the dirt for Linda.
And I'll tell you the other one. I know the 2 hasn't won in forever. Excuse me, the 7. The 7 did not run awful last time.
I agree.
No, not at all. It's a very competitive race to kick off our late pick 4. And there's the 11 stepping in, Outback Bob. Let's send it upstairs for the call. The beginning of this sequence. Larry Colmus back in town to start us off.
And here's Outback Bob coming up to the outside stall, and they're all in line.
They're off. Good beginning for Harlan's Hunch, who goes out to lead them with Follow the Sign. Zafiro came out running in third. And then it's Sentry fourth on the inside, followed by Atlantic Force, who's fifth as they enter the backstretch and 5 from the front. Outback Bob now going by horses quickly on the far outside, all the way up into third. Brian Biggs Cookies is next. And then it's Not in Charge, Ode to the Hunt, followed by King of Spades, and Here Comes Your Man. Up the backstretch they go. That first quarter, 24.18 seconds for Harlan's Hunch, who's out there by 2.5 lengths. Follow the Signs follows in second up the backstretch. And then it's Outback Bob on the outside, Sentry down toward the inside. Zafiro, Atlantic Force together behind them. 6 lengths off of this front runner, who's opened up 4 lengths on the lead. And then it's Not in Charge, Here Comes Your Man, Brian Biggs Cookies on the outside, followed by Ode to the Hunt, King of Spades at the back, 47.51, an isolated half mile here for Harlan's Hunch, who's opened up by 6 lengths on the far turn. Kendra Carmouche and Harlan's Hunch trying to put him away right now. They're 5 in front. Follow the Signs, Outback Bob second and third by 2. Sentry fourth on the inside. Atlantic Force is next. The others have running to do. And Harlan's Hunch to catch. 3/4 in 1, 10.81. They're into the stretch. Harlan's Hunch still way out in front. He's got a 7-length lead with a furlong to run. Follow the Signs second. Outback Bob is third. Sentry is fourth. Here Comes Your Man gains ground on the outside. Then Not in Charge, but they're way behind Harlan's Hunch. He's just made an absolute mockery of this one. Harlan's Hunch under the wire by about 6 lengths over Not in Charge. Sentry Zafiro ended up fourth in 1 minute 40.68 seconds.
Kendrick Carmouche out in front all by himself, and the rest of the field just gave him this race. Let him do it.
See, what happened last time is people read the racing form and they see 25 for the first quarter. What they don't realize, when you go back and you watch that race, the horse got pushed to a 23 second quarter. Today, he was able to go out there on a stroll. You and I could have rode this horse today.
Well, you can't compare initial fractions going 1 1/16 out of the inner turf course.
No, I
to this
get it,
wider
but
turf course.
he got no pressure, Andy.
This horse won very fastly, and you have to give credit to a winner that wins as easily as he did, particularly on the turf. But when you look at this race, you say that Sentry has speed to stay close to him. He was sitting behind a 22 and change quarter around a turn last time. Follow the Signs was dueling in 22 and 1 around a turn last time. This guy went 24 and almost won the first quarter on the Widener, and then he was allowed to just open up. The final time is 1:40 3/5. Now, I don't want to take anything away from him. He's a galloping winner of this race, but you do want to ask some of the other riders, or maybe the trainer's instructions, why do we keep seeing people that are so afraid of speed?
Kendrick Carmouche is not, and he took advantage of it here. He is very adept at that. He is never afraid to go to the front, and that is exactly what he did here and took advantage.
He did. I mean,
8-1.
8-1 off a 7-2 money line. And here's the thing: right before the race, we were talking about this horse was taking no money because everybody thought there was going to be a little bit of a speed duel. But Kendrick Carmouche makes no bones about it. I'm going to the front end. You want to play hardball? Let's play hardball. Nobody else wanted to.
And Andy, there should have been, right? I mean, you said the 1 had speed, the 3 had some speed, the 10 has some speed. Nobody went with him.
The 4 has some speed as well. Zafiro was up close, and suddenly the 4, Myers was dropping back like he was going to be last. I thought something happened to him. He rallied for 4th. I mean, are they in it to win it? I mean, I don't understand. We saw that Christophe Clement steal it on the front end with that great ride by Rosario over the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, use your speed a little bit. Kendrick, as you say, not afraid. The other guys act like they're in fear of using speed.
8-1 winner to kick off this late pick 4. Pool close to $350,000 as well. We'll have the results when we come back. 2-6, 1-4 finish, and an upset to kick things off. We're going to take a break in the action. We'll be back. We're going to talk what's trending when we return and what else will be the Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner Justify is. We'll be back.
International Super Sire Warfront. Among his 34 stakes horses in 2017 were Grade 1 winners American Patriot, Avenge, Roly-Poly, War Flag, and Europe's champion 2-year-old colt, U.S. Navy Flag. Last year, Warfront was the nation's #1 sire in multiple categories. In the sales ring, his yearlings continue to bring prices well over $1 million. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Yeah, it's Fleet Week for Memorial Day weekend, and there is the Fighting Eye. The USS Intrepid earned 5 battle stars during World War II, 27,000 tons, and speeds up to 61 kilometers per hour. Let's go downstairs to Maggie for more.
And joined by winning trainer Danny Gargan here with Harlan's Hunch. And Danny, I think it was the right combination of jockey and horse here today.
Well, you know, obviously Kendrick fits the front-running horses really well, and it's nothing against Louis' size. You know, he rode him great at Gulfstream. And it was just unfortunate he hit him left-handed last time, and he kind of got out and got DQ'd. I mean, nothing against Louis. He rides the horse tremendously. Just Mr. Bailey really likes Kendrick and wanted to make a change. And I think it worked out really well today having Kendrick on him.
And talk a little bit about the relationship that you have with owner Morris Bailey. Is this kind of a new, fresh kind of partnership with you and him? I know he's always had horses in the Mid-Atlantic as well.
Well, I'm his only trainer right now, and he made a change. When me and Midwest split up, he called me and asked me if I'd be interested in training for him, and he sent me 7 horses. And we're having a tremendous year, and he's a wonderful, wonderful man. And basically, he probably kept me in New York, because if I'd have lost him, I probably would have left New York and went back to Kentucky.
Well, we're glad to have you here. Great job here with Harlan's Hunch. Where do we see him next, possibly? Well,
I mean, the way he ran today, he ran tremendous. So, you know, we'll see about the numbers come back. And I think he can win a 1X at some point. You know, I claimed him in Florida, running back, and he won. Then he running back, and he was, you know, had that weird trip. Mm-hmm. And then he ran big today. So he's done everything we've asked of him, and he's getting better, actually. He's getting stronger. He's filled out more. He's just getting better.
Well, Danny, great job with him, and best of luck in the future. Congrats here, though.
All right. Thank you so much, Maggie.
All right, Greg.
Maggie, thank you. It pays to be aggressive in a race that looks like there's plenty of pace. The quickest of the bunch zips out to the front and never looks back.
Yeah, congratulations to the son of Harlan's Holiday, the elusive quality mare. Quality play. And how about this? This horse was 0 for 9 over the Belmont turf, and that just went away. And there is your late pick 5 follow along pocketbook to Harlan's Hunch. And pocketbook's going to feel a lot better after you got Harlan's Hunch home.
Naira Bets late pick 5. Only way to play it is through Naira Bets, or if you reside in the state of New York, and it's been fantastic in terms of its payouts. We'll see how it continues to play out. Still 3 races to go in the sequence. Time for what's trending right now, and of course our Kentucky Derby and Preakness winner set to come and have at least one work at Belmont Park ahead of the Test of the Champion, either that Sunday, or I should say Saturday, Sunday, or Monday for Bob Baffert.
Well, in Churchill Downs, not at Belmont Park.
No, at Belmont Park, week of, yeah.
Oh, I thought he wasn't coming until later.
Yeah, going to have one go over the surface.
Wow. I think it's a good sign, because after the Preakness, I think that Bob handled them a little bit, after the Derby, he handled them with care into the Preakness, and he even said that he was very light on them. I think, obviously, with weather permitting and it goes well, that he wants to get him a work over a dry racetrack.
Bob Baffert knows what he's doing. Whatever Bob does is right.
When I owned horses, I remember Doug O'Neill asked me, what do you want to do with this horse? I'm like, Doug, I would never ask you how to hit a breaking ball, so I'm not going to tell you how to train. Just tell me when the horse.
How would he hit a breaking ball?
I know, right? Right?
Poorly.
That's when owners just need to stay out of the way. Yeah.
It would miss, probably.
Yeah. Well, it is surprising, with owners that have trainers. They hire great trainers, and then they tell them how to handle their horses.
Yeah.
I don't quite understand that.
Yeah.
For those who look at the Preakness and they go, oh, justify, he was tested so hard. Difficult race on him. Bob Baffert says he did not lose an ounce of weight coming out of that race. Here's assistant trainer Jimmy Barnes on what he had to say.
Had a good bounce in his step, very happy. We just took it easy with him out there, went about 1 3/8 miles. Bob just said, just give him a nice, easy first day back gallop, which we did. And he seemed to really enjoy it. The horse does run in the mud well, but you ought to see him on a dry track. You guys haven't seen him on a dry track, and I'm waiting to see him on a dry track myself. But, with the mud, you never know what to expect. Sometimes races don't pan out the way you think they will. But, for him, it's been stay clean, and he's certainly done that.
That is assistant trainer Jimmy Barnes, a hugely important part of that Bob Baffert team.
A giant part, and I think that's the biggest thing that people forget about Bob. I always talk about he's stationed in one spot. He's had Jimmy Barnes at his side for a long time, and Jimmy has never left him.
Well, you won't have a successful operation where you don't have at least one top assistant 100%. Like that. Jimmy Barnes, obviously, as you say, a huge part of that operation.
You want to be on hand if history is made. Do not miss out. Tickets are going fast. Get your tickets to the 150th running of the Belmont Stakes and see Justify continuous Triple Crown journey. General admission, that is all that's left. Reserved seats are gone. You want to be here. General admission, $25 seat, or $25 for general admission, I should say. The seats are gone. By today, before the event, before they sell out. Get there to belmontstakes.com and be part of the action. Andy Serling asked us which winner of the 2 of the 3 Triple Crown races, including a win in the Belmont, unluckiest not to win it.
Win the Triple Crown.
What did you think?
I liked.
Well,
Can I mention something real quick before you mention?
You can do whatever you like.
I love that you put horses that didn't win some of the races that should have been, because Point Given was probably one of Bob's other horses, and Fleet Alex didn't win the Derby. I like that you put that in there.
Well, I actually think the unluckies, too, in there were – the poll's not over, so I don't want to – I'm trying to put up a poll every day for the Belmont Stakes. I've done one each of the last 3 days. I put up ones – I realize that people are younger, and they're going to remember recency much more. Yeah. And to me, Fleet Alex is the least deserving of all 4 of them.
But I will say –
it wasn't a terrific horse.
That Preakness was incredible. One of the most memorable races when he got bounced around and still won that Preakness of any.
Oh, I agree. I just think Risen Star was an hour the best of all. He was the best of those horses. He should have won that Derby, and what he did in the Belmont Stakes is second only to Secretariat. And I also think Riva Ridge is very unlucky. It rained at the Preakness.
So what, an hour to vote in this poll?
About 3, I think.
Who won, by the way, who won the Fleet Alex Kentucky Derby?
Giacomo.
Yeah, 50-1.
Yeah. Incredible.
All right, so you can still vote. Be part of that poll and more to come. Follow Andy Serling on Twitter to be part of that. Mind Your Biscuits, we're going to see him on the undercard on Belmont Day. Of course, just sold. We'll have some news on that a little bit later on, potentially in the show or later in the week. But looking forward to see him on this track. That undercard absolutely stacked with runner after runner every single race. And look at this. This is Haley Moore, reporter, throwing herself into the line of fire, which could have been a life-ending move.
Yes, it could have been.
I would do that only if I wasn't wearing that dress. That's incredible.
It is incredible. Most guys on horseback, it's tough to do, and for her to grab that horse like that with that kind of force, she could have really torn her arm
That was at
off.
Chepstow in Wales. Maggie, I would say I would not recommend that. Have you ever been in a situation like that?
No, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it either, especially when you're trying to do your job out there. But kudos to her. She was brave. I mean, yes, I've done this back at the barn, catching a horse. But to catch it in a dress while mic'd up with a camera on you, she's braver than I think any of us here. So well done, Haley Moore. And yes, she does know a thing or two about horses, as her dad is a trainer, and she unsaddled him as well. So I think that was the most impressive thing I saw all week.
Brave or just
no? You know what
stupid move?
I'm going to say brave. I'm going to say brave. Grab the horse. Incredible.
Can we show it again? Because I'm going to say she's done this before. Because watch when she picks the horse up, she pats the horse on the side. Don't worry, buddy. I got you. Watch right here. Gets up, pats him on the thing, pats him right here, and goes, you know what? Don't worry about it, buddy. Everything's okay. That's professionally done right there.
Let's hear from Haley Moore. This is from At the Races in Chepstow.
They might have to go and sort the divot in after. Luckily, it's on the jumps course, so there'll be time for the track to get back right before the jump season commences here. Yeah, give him a clump. I just couldn't bear to see it go out on another lap. So, yeah, I thought we'd go for it. But we've got a good race coming up here. Adrenaline, if only it could be bottled.
Give him a clump is the name of the horse. Almost did drag around another lap with her on the ground. Give him a clump.
A clump, and she was talking about divots.
Florent Geroux, long journey, but now a U.S. citizen. Congratulations to jockey Florent Geroux. Well done.
That's pretty good. They're from Fincastle, Kentucky. Congratulations to Florent. That's awesome.
Love to see that. Talk plenty about Florent Geroux on this show. Want to remind everyone, get signed up, started, play along with Naira Bets, and you'll get $200 in your account when you do so. Get signed up, started, use the promo code LIVE, and you'll get a $200 bonus in your account within 14 days to play with as you choose. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime, NairaBets.com. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment when Belmont Park Live continues. 7th race coming up.
And they're off in New York. The premier state bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses, restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish first, second, or third at New York tracks. We have the quality. Audible, no doubt about it. You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
Back on Belmont Park Live, sure, you could earn 5, 10, 20, 30% gains with compound interest year after year, or you could have a big score at the racetrack.
True. But one of my best memories I ever had, when I was with the Mets, I got to ring the bell.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That was an honor, yeah.
If you don't have the NYRA app now, the time to get it. This is a 10% doubled at Belmont Winners Bonus, only available on that app. And it's available for download in the App Store and Android on NYRABets.com. Visit NYRABets.com for details on this promotion. 10% winners bonus on doubles at Belmont. Take advantage of it this afternoon. All right, race 7. 6.5 furlongs, our only race on the main track on our show this afternoon. New York bred $30,000 maiden claiming event. O'Shea, Can You See? For Jason Service, son of Curlin, trying to get his first win, start number 6. 2-1 on the board right now. I'm going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale for more on this group. This report brought to you by Hillendale Farms, standing Curlin for $150,000.
Greg, this field is tacked and ready to go here as we will take a look at that current favorite in number 4, O'Shea, Can You See? Now, last time, several weeks ago, he was a late scratch due to flipping at the gate. So, you know, take it with that as what you want, but he comes back in here today. Hopefully he minds his P's and Q's when they get up to post time, but he looks extremely well conditioned here, coming off that bit of a break for Jason Service, and really I have no complaints with him whatsoever, and he's behaving very nicely thus far. We'll next check in with a first-time starter on the outside in number 8, Antley's Courage for Linda Rice, and a son of Gradar, who the dam has thrown horses who can run. They're not necessarily superstars, but they've all been pretty productive. He's very much looks like his sire. He's this big gray horse who's very long-bodied overall. He does come in here looking pretty fit, but it's not something Linda Rice is necessarily known for in firing with these first-time starters, although in a maiden claimer, sometimes she can get it done. I don't really know what to think of him, because the pedigree is decent, and the fact that he's showing up in a maiden claimer, I don't know, I'm a little bit suspect of that overall, guys.
All right, Maggie, thank you. More on the firster in a moment as we take a look now at the favorite. This is the 2-to-1 shot. O'Shea, Can You See? And let's look at the most recent effort. It was back on March the 9th at Aqueduct. Same condition and a near miss by a nose.
When people say the term hung like a chandelier, this is what they're talking about.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the
a
more and more
disgrace.
you watch this, I mean, I want all the chips on O'Shea Can You See? Even the 86, the 69 Mets, everything.
I bet the winner
And
of this
then
race
here's what
that came back.
happens. The 2006 Mets show up right there.
That is brutal.
That horse, and not only that, he got an absolutely perfect trip and a perfect ride for Manny Franco and hung. I don't want a horse like this coming back. As Maggie said, he flipped in the paddock. He flipped the gate before that. Where's he been? It's been 3 months. I don't want any part of this horse. I'll get him the winner's circle, as I've been doing with a number of horses recently. I don't like this horse at all.
The one thing you can like is that it was a 14-horse field. I mean, he was right there, 14 horses. Most of the fields you'll see 8, 9-horse fields, you know.
$200 new member bonus sign up. Use the promo code LIVE to take advantage. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Go to NYRABets.com to get signed up and started. Use that promo code LIVE to get that free $200 in your account. Here's our post parade. We start with Can't We All Get Along and finish just behind O'Shea Can You See in that March 9th start.
I mean, if you like the 4 at 2-to-1, why wouldn't you be interested in this one at 8-to-1? And he had a tougher trip that day.
Trained by Gary Contessa. Here's the 2, Big Auk.
Yeah, 17 tries, and maybe the 18th time will be a charm, but I just don't see. But obviously, or at least the last race was an improvement.
Big player here in the 3. Flipped a recent gelding for Robertino Diodoro.
On paper, looks like the weaker of the 2 Robertino Diodoros, but right now is much bigger price. Gelded and ran just 19 days ago and already back as a new gelding.
O'Shea Can You See? We showed you in action on March the 9th. Here is the son of Curlin for Jason Service.
Yeah, Shady Boys Stable involved here, and you know, the one to beat, I guess, a 2-to-1.
Here's the other Robertino Diodoro horse. Claimed 2 starts back.
Not the same horse, but the same name as a winner of our Suburban less than 10 years ago at Belmont. I like this one. Thought he tougher last time off the claim for Diodoro. Like his chances.
6-to-1 right now. Here's the 6. Can't take it anymore. Michelle Nevin, trainee.
I thought this horse was very interesting. From turf to dirt, the dirt races are a lot better since they put the blinkers on.
And from 10-to-1 to 5-to-1 right now on the board. Our American Star, 0 for 18 for Dudnath Shivmangal.
Tried him last time, ran fine, but he's had his chances, and this may be a tougher field than he faced last time.
And maybe the board telling you the story with the firster for Linda Rice not getting a lot of attention.
Well, they paid $80,000 for this Gray Son of Great R, and they're debuting him for $30,000, so that could be one negative, and he's also showing up a little dead on the board.
Kendrick Carmouche will look to go back-to-back. He's on board the first. So let's go back to the 5 and more on Dry Martini. David Cohen in the irons there, Andy.
He was claimed 2 starts ago to Oaklawn by Robertino Diodoro to bring him here to New York. He ran him against maidens, New York breds, maiden special weights last time, and I thought he had a little bit of trouble in the stretch. He kind of had to try to go around horses. He got shut off. He had to duck back inside. I think it hampered his final close. And while the figure didn't come up good, I thought the effort was good enough to be competitive here and think he's an overlay at his current 6-to-1. And I don't think he's going much lower. Look at the double.
Well, he showed more speed than he had showed in the past in Diodoro's barn. He was right up on the pace, broke very sharply, and then got shuffled and then sort of re-rallied. Now, when you get to the 4 O'Shea Can You See? We showed you the replay. Sat in a great spot and just couldn't get it done.
There he is for Shady Boys Stable. O'Shea Can You See? Current 2-to-1 favorite. Can he get it done to break his maiden? We'll find out next.
switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. Phoenix has won the Travers over American Fang. Irish War Cry has won the Wood Memorial. Alice. Good Magic's gonna win his first race, and he's gonna do it as the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Back on Belmont Park Live, you can watch all the Belmont races and the show right now from your phone with alternate camera angles plus expert analysis on all the races with the NYRA Now app. Available for download on iPhone, iPad, Android, Roku, and Chromecast. Just search for NYRA Now to start enjoying all the NYRA content. There again, Dry Martini for Robertino Diodoro with more on this Son of Desert party. Let's go to Maggie.
And Dry Martini is a horse that's dropping, well, back into a maiden claimer, but for the first time against New York breds. And he comes in here, I like he was fired up in the paddock, but the way that he warmed up under David Cohen, I really like. He just went nicely on the bridle. He got away from the pony. He galloped off beautifully around to the backside. I really like what I'm seeing from this horse. He's going to be my top pick in here. And usually I don't put too much stock into what horses riders choose. But at the end of the day, David Cohen is Robertino Diodoro's go-to guy. So the fact that he chooses this one over number 3, Flipped in here, I think is telling, as Flip does come back in here as a very fresh new gelding. I'm kind of, as Andy alluded to, I'm a fan of giving a horse a little bit more time, having been gelded just a couple weeks ago. He looks fine overall. I really do like the looks of both of these Diodoro horses, but I'm going with Dry Martini. I think he's the one that has his game face on here today, guys.
7-2, 4-1 on the two Robertino Diodoro runners. And here's the other one there, Flip, the recent gelding. But, yeah, a lot of people liking Dry Martini right now among our group.
You know, I found a very interesting stat for Robertino Diodoro. Second off the claim, he's 74 for 254. So that's like a crazy stat.
Yeah.
I mean, right? It's a legitimate one. It's almost 30%. It's 29%. With a $2.28 ROI. For a guy like Diodoro, who runs a lot of horses out of town that are short prices, to win at almost 30% with 250-plus starters and have an ROI of almost $2.30, that's remarkable.
I'm with you. The guy's solid. Like, he originally started in Canada, then he came down to Turf Paradise, then he started going to Canterbury, then he came to California, then he came to New York. This happened.
Wins everywhere.
It happened within like a year and a half. Like, and he's won, like Andy said, 25 to 30% everywhere. It's not dropping. Bringing him to Keeneland, he's very good.
And the big X factor in this race is that first timer on the outside who's clicked down now a notch. What do you do with Antley's Courage? First time out, it's Kendrick Carmouche on board for Linda Rice.
I've seen Linda win with these firsters that don't get bad. I've seen them bomb at short prices. I didn't want it, but I say what, it's supposed to have to 4 horses that could run a little bit. In fact, one of them, I bet Tony knows, won his debut at Aqueduct, paid about $45 a few years ago.
And, I mean, there's no superstars in here.
No, there's not.
No, they're not.
So we shall see.
Superstars are all up here, Greg.
Yeah,
He's the first timer ready to roll. It's still O'Shea. Can you see the 4, the favorite on the board? Let's send it upstairs to the voice of horse racing's Triple Crown for the call, Larry Colmus.
Antley's Courage and Kendrick Carmouche coming up to complete the line here. Goes in. They're all in line. They're off. Antley's Courage got left at the start there. O'Shea, Can You See out for the lead, opening up a length and a half. Dry Martini and Flipped Away second and third. Can't We All Get Along is fourth with Can't Take It Any No More. Now moving up on the outside, then it's Big Hawk, followed by Our American Star and Antley's Courage as last of them all as they head up the backstretch. O'Shea, Can You See and Dry Martini on the outside through a 23.08 opening quarter mile. Can't Take It Anymore is running in third to the outside. And then it's Flipped fourth along the rail, followed by Big Hawk, Can't We All Get Along, Our American Star, and far behind is Antley's Courage. Around the turn they go. It is O'Shea, Can You See? Dry Martini stirring things up, and Can't Take It Anymore moves up on the outside, and the three of them are across the track now after a 46.35 half. They're into the stretch, and O'Shea, Can You See turns for home in front. Opens up the lead by 2.5. Now 3 as they come into the final furlong. Up into second is Can't Take It Anymore on the inside. Then Can't We All Get Along, followed by Flipped and Our American Star. It's all O'Shea, Can You See? A star-spangled score. Won it by 6 lengths over Flipped. And then it was Our American Star, followed by Can't Take It Anymore in 116.41.
Favorite, career start number 6, gets the job done. O'Shea, Can You See with Irad Ortiz Jr.
Well, they made sure that they got this horse to the front end early so he wouldn't have to hang, and race was over.
Yeah, this is not the same O'Shea, Can You See that we were seeing over the winter. Jason Service does a tremendous job, and O'Shea, Can You See was a galloping easy winner today. Terrible forms by Dry Martini. I mean, he looked like he had tons of horse around the turn. He stopped before they hit the top of the stretch.
Yeah, 1-2 the favorites in here.
So 2-1 favorite gets the job done. 4-3-7 photo for fourth. Meanwhile, we were talking about the first timer as they were loading up and lost all chance at the start on the outside there.
Yeah, pay attention to the 8 on the complete outside, Antley's Courage, and just sometimes that happens. I think a lot of people always say they get discouraged when a first-time starter gets the 1 hole. I really don't like when a first-time starter gets the outside. Sometimes they'll get, I don't know, they're the last to load, something they'll lug out. He just broke slow.
I find that getting left from any post is a bad thing.
Yeah, it's true, right?
First post.
Especially if you put
I
money
think
on.
the firsters on the rail thing is the most overrated, and statistics do not back it up. The first timers on the rail are a bad bet. I just think you don't want to get left wherever you are. This horse just wasn't ready to
You make
run.
a good point, because if they do break, they got an advantage.
I mean, it doesn't. I don't want to get left from post 3. I don't.
Yeah.
What's the difference, right?
Got an education certainly this afternoon,
Yeah.
and now they know what they have to work on. Linda Rice and her barn with Antley's Courage. O'Shea, Can You See? Getting the win, 2-1 favor. We're going to take a break. The contenders ready to roll to face Justify one more time. Bravazzo among them after being second in the Preakness for the coach.
Make NYRA Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With NYRA Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NYRABets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. NYRA Bets, racing's best play.
Back on Belmont Park Live, you take that exit, it's going to be a short trip for you, trust me. Take 26B, that's the one you want to get to Belmont Racetrack. Send it downstairs to Maggie standing by with a winning rider.
And O'Shea, can you see, responded very nicely to Irad Ortiz here. And Irad, a horse that hadn't necessarily shown speed in the past, was on his game today.
Yes, if you read the form, she is not too much speed on the race today, so she was sharp, and I just warmed her up good without the pony, tried to get into break, and I told the assistant I think she's going to be in front, but if somebody goes so I can see it because she don't have to be on the lead, but look like no speed, probably I go wire to wire, and she did it.
Really emphatically as well, breaking his maiden there. And Irad, we were discussing the Belmont on the show, and looks as though you might be back aboard Hofburg.
Hopefully, you know, I will love to, and we were talking to Belmont, and I will love to be on the horse. It's a nice horse, and I think he'll be all right.
I was going to say, he ran incredibly in the Derby, and he's relatively inexperienced. Do you think a mile and a half is well within his wheelhouse?
I think he'll be all right. He'll be all right. He run good. He was coming on the stretch. He makes some ground. I think the mile and a half is going to be good for him.
All right, Ira. Well, best of luck with him, but congrats here.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
Maggie, thanks. Yeah, Hofburg. Oh, Tappets have done oh so well in the Belmont. Another Tappet. Can he keep it going? 3 of the last 4, is that right?
Yes. And you think that Justify's lightly raced. Hofburg's only run 4 times.
4
right?
times, yeah.
We're fresh and waiting for him. O'Shea, can you see, takes race 7, does so as the favorite. Irad Ortiz Jr., Shady Boys Stable, Jason Service, your winning connections.
Congratulations to the son of Curlin on the Ghost Sapper Mare, Tropic of Aquarius. And yes, Chipper Jones beat the Mets up so much, he named his daughter Shay.
Naira Bet's late pick 5 follow along. $40,000 in the pool. We got a big number with Harlan's Hunch. Kendrick Carmouche stealing that second leg. But a favorite here in race 7.
It'll still be okay.
And still plenty of things can happen.
Yeah, because, you know, I think a lot of people were against O'Shea, can you see, after watching him hang a little bit. And then you got the 2, you know, in that race before in race 6, which is a tough race.
See what happens with Bouncy here.
Yeah, that's going to be the key to the 5 here. He's right.
Who's your best bet to beat Justify in the 3rd and final leg of the Triple Crown? Vino Rosso coming back after skipping the Preakness, 9th in the Kentucky Derby. Well, he showed better at a mile and a half. We'll be back.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warfront. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 mile at Keeneland, then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. His runners include stakes winner Star Doza, along with a growing list of talented young runners. At public auction, his yearlings have sold up to $200,000. Data Link, standing at Cleveland Park.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
stretch, and American Pharoah makes his run for glory as they come into the final furlong. Frosted is second with 1/8 of a mile to go. American Pharoah's got a 2-length lead. Frosted is all out at the 16th pole, and here it is. The 37-year wait is over. American Pharoah is finally the one. American Pharoah has won the Triple Crown.
37-year wait ended. Bob Baffert, Triple Crown winning trainer. He got his test, American Pharoah, in the Kentucky Derby. His Preakness, his Belmont, he won with relative ease.
Listen, all the horses that he's had come back into the Preakness, into the Belmont, they've all pretty run well, besides War Emblem, who stumbled at the start. But every one of them have fired. Silver Charm, real quiet. You can go on and on and on, and I think Justify is going to fire as well.
Yeah, I mean, he should have won 2 Triple Crowns. Real quiet, never should have lost that
Yeah,
race.
true.
It should have been 2. And it's just sort of amazing how many of these horses lost in Triple Crown bids, and really good horses as well. And it took so long for American Pharoah to get it done. It's a lot of bad luck, and I always felt like there was a high likelihood we'd see another one in a relatively short period of time. We may well see one in 2 weeks.
Here's Justify this morning at Churchill Downs. Again, looking to get one work over the Belmont track before the test of the champion. Let's take a look at the contenders and who is going to be lining up to face him as he goes for history. Blended Citizen, who Connection said this track fits him absolutely perfectly. He came up with that win in the Peter Pan for Doug O'Neill and company. Bravazzo back for more after that rousing Preakness second for D. Wayne Lucas.
What's the interesting part about this is Restoring Hope. Okay, they're owned by Gary and Mary West, and for Bob Baffert. And they've decided that they want to run in the Belmont. Now,
we'll talk more about him in a moment.
We'll talk about that more and what we think about that. But listen, they own the horse. They pay the bills. They can do what they want.
Exactly. I'm excited to see him.
Let's start with Bravazzo. Second in the Preakness, and a little horse for D. Wayne Lucas. Got a huge heart, though, and he came rolling here at the end.
Here's the thing. Like I said, when we were talking about this, here's the punch. Right here, it looks like Justify's about a length in front till they go to the pan view, and you realize that he has not put Good Magic away. I mean, you're going to see right here.
We are.
Good Magic is still right at his throat latch. Now he puts him away, and Bravazzo just sort of sucks up. And Mikey.
Bravazzo was 4th best. I mean, he shouldn't even beaten tenfold.
I think he's going to be a sucker play in the Belmont.
As do I. I think he's a nice horse.
Yes, I do. I'm not taking away
Wayne Lucas as much as any trainer in the game, but I just don't think he's good enough.
And the people that are talking about the rigors of the Triple Crown, he's going to run in all 3 too as well.
Yeah.
So he's got to be tired.
He's had a very, very busy schedule, so it's not like he's getting any kind of break at all. Meanwhile, a horse that is getting plenty of attention in a different scenario, lightly raced. He'll be rested. He skipped the Preakness. That is the son of Tappet Hofberg for Belmont.
He's a dangerous horse, obviously, Andy. We've talked about this a zillion times. He's by Tappet. He's bred to get the 1.5 miles. The Tappets have done well. He ran a sneaky okay Derby. He's very lightly raced. He's very talented. Does he have enough speed, or is he good enough to stay close enough?
I don't think he's that slow. I mean, his maiden win, he was on top of a pace for the wide trip. I think he's going to be second choice in this race, and I do think he's the second likeliest winner here. I think he's a major threat to Justify.
Yeah, I'm with Andy. I think he's going to end up being second choice by the time they go off. Listen, Justify is going to be whatever he is because people are going to want souvenir tickets. Hofberg's going to be your second choice.
Justify is going to be a shorter price than he should be. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be 4 to 5 or something in this race.
No, I'm with you.
But we've seen Triple Crown horses always go off as short as they should. And Hofberg, I have no argument against him at all.
And you'll get money from the Pletcher horse just because he's done so well in the Belmont. So Vino Rosso's going to take money.
As he probably should.
He'll probably be third choice, you think?
He'll be somewhere up there.
He's only got a maiden win to his credit. Vino Rosso, meanwhile, your Wood Memorial winner, he passed on the Preakness. He'll be coming in fresh. Maybe he's your second choice in the race.
I have no idea what to think of this horse because on Wood Day, Todd Pletcher ran a number of horses that ran great, including he ran well. I mean, he got a very good trip and a setup in there. I'm not sure what to make of him because the Derby and the slop, you didn't find out anything about this horse.
Here's the thing I know about Vino Rosso. When all the 2-year-olds came out for Todd Pletcher in the beginning of last year, they all thought he was the best one.
He was working lights out in the morning.
The way he works in the morning. And I'm wondering if he just can't deal with adversity. He got into that in the Wood Memorial, good trip, winner. Got into a 20-horse field, the adversity didn't do much. Now I'm going to be in a lightly raced field at his home track. He'll probably run a lot better.
Well, he's never run at Belmont Park before, actually. I think he probably will run well. Todd Fletcher has done so well in this race that I don't think you could ever discount him.
Yeah.
And he's working well again. But, yeah, he's been a superstar in the morning. He did put it together in the Wood. We'll see if he can get back to those ways that we see him in the AM in the Test of the Champion at 1.5 miles. Again, coming in fresh as we take a look at the Belmont Stakes contenders. There's a name on that list. Bob Baffert trying to beat himself, yet restoring hope. Very possible, could line up in the Belmont Stakes. Owner Gary West thinking more and more, the owner, that he wants to run in this racehorse who just has a maiden win to his credit. So we will see what happens. That'd be an interesting scenario.
Gary Murray West spent a lot of money in this game, and if they want to run in these races, nobody should tell them not to. And if you have trainers, you have different owners, you should run them. But let me just say something. Bob Baffert's probably thinking, if I'm going to lose to Restoring Hope, I'm going to lose to a number of horses in this race.
Yeah.
He's not worried.
Too concerned.
Yeah, I mean, if he loses, he loses, but I don't think Bob's going to be too worried.
I mean, listen, the horse finished, what, 12th last time out?
Yeah, 12th in a 14-horse field in the Pat Day Mile.
And
third in the Wood.
Like Andy said, you know, Gary and Mary West spent a lot of money in this game. They're
great owners.
Great owners. And when you pay over $100 a day to feed an animal, you can put that horse wherever you want.
Pedigree, though, interesting. Giants Causeway out of a Tappet mare for Restoring Hope.
I just think the horse has no shot.
8th race is coming up. It's 1 mile and 1/16 on the inner turf, and it's time for a paddock report brought to you by Hillendale Farms, standing Curlin for $150,000. Here's Maggie Wolfendale.
I liked Paul's resoluteness on Restoring Hope, as we will take a look at the horses in here who have some hope of winning this A, other than including second time starting number 5 in here, Bouncy, as she was pretty impressive. When you go back and you watch that Keeneland race, first asking, seemed as though she was a well-seasoned animal that drew away from the field at the end. Here in the paddock, she's kind of one of those brown paper bag type of horses. Nothing flashy about her, nothing remarkable. She's a bit on the smaller side, to be honest, and you know, she's not that striking to the eye. She's very fit in here. She's laid back. I like that about her. We'll see if she can move forward off of the maiden win, as we'll take a look at the outside runner in Moment Tiempo, who is coming back off of a layoff and making her first start as a 4-year-old. Now, I have liked her in the past, but I think I like her even more now as a 4-year-old. She's filled out. She looks bigger to me. She looks fantastic here for Jimmy Toner. I really like what I'm seeing from this filly. It's just a matter of, is she fit enough? I mean, I look at her here and I think so, but sometimes, you know, when you look at her form, she's had some stops and starts and it's taken her a while to get going. So will she need a race to proverbially get going this time around? So otherwise, I really like what I see, and maybe she can upset your current favorite and Bouncy, guys.
Maggie, thanks. Yeah, the 8 Moment Tiempo, also the 1 Jaunt, both coming out of a similar race. They both ran at Gulfstream in a stakes race at the end of 2017. Let's look at Moment Tiempo for Jimmy Toner.
This is breaking her maiden, coming up the rail and getting a very good trip here. And she was fortunate to win. It was a good ride by Eric Cancel. I do think she's talented enough to win this race. We'll see if she needs one.
I think she's talented enough to win this race. I'm with you, Andy. This was a good ride by Eric this day. She really kicked it in late. I didn't think she was going to win, and she rolled up the rail. Will she get the same trip? We'll see today. Last time out with Gap Leone in the irons at Gulfstream Park, she sort of got left and just really had no shot.
There's a look at her, 4-1 right now from an 8-1 morning line. We did have a couple of scratches, including a horse that would have been a heavy favorite in here. Reversed the decision for Chad Brown, not going this afternoon. Meanwhile, here is Bouncy, and she is getting a ton of support off what she did first time out at Keeneland.
Yeah, we really need to watch some of this video, because immediately to start, she's the number 6 horse in this video. She's going to break a step slowly. When you break a step slowly, you can fall victim to others coming in and out on you. She gets cut off when the 5 comes out, the 7 comes in, and through no fault of her own. I mean, it was her fault, but no, you know, nothing wrong. She ends up 2-3 lengths behind, and now she's shoveled back to last. And I think in turf racing, it's very important to get a comfortable trip, to get in position at some point where you can sort of save some ground and rest a little behind horses. She never gets that position. Jose Ortiz has to take her out of position and wide and move up early and make a big run to get in there, make this run, and she just never stopped running. Now, sometimes these horses run great first time, and they never run those races again, Paul. But if she runs back to this race, this field's in trouble.
Yeah, they are. And here's the crazy part. The front runner on that day was able to slow that middle half in the 25 and change. And what did she do? Went by them all like they were literally tied to a tree. I mean, this horse has now gone 25 and 26. The horses in front were going 52, and she went by them like they were standing still.
And doing it after having the trouble at the gate, putting herself in bad position, making up the ground in the middle of the race, and then still being able to finish. And if you look at the PPs, the horses that she was running against, they were okay. This was not a bad field. Now, she's got some talented horses in here in Momentiempo. You got the Claiborne horse in the rail and Jaunt. You've got Lady Joan, who could try to wire the field. This is not a bad field, but this was a very impressive visual performance.
Being able to overcome all that adversity first time out, very impressive, especially from a first-time starter. She is 6-5 on the board right now.
Can you imagine if you had her at a little under 7-1 that day and a bet on her? You probably threw your ticket away when they broke.
I'd have blown the money by now, so it wouldn't really matter.
It's double Thursdays, 10% winners bonus each and every Thursday at Belmont Park. Download the Naira Bets app to earn that 10% bonus on all your winning doubles at Belmont today. The Naira Bets app available for download in the App Store and for Android on nairabets.com. Post-parade here coming up momentarily. 6-5 right now on Bouncy, making career start number 2. She's giving up a lot of experience to the rest of this field, but showed a ton of talent in that debut. And again, some big scratches in here. Initiate, part of the speed gone from this field as well. The heavy favorite would have been the 4, and Miss Munnings would have been a long shot, is gone. Here is the one, Jaunt, trained by Shug McGahee, daughter of Harlan's Holiday, part of the last crop of Harlan's Holiday, who passed away back in 2013. It was a Claiborne stallion. Jose Lizcano rides.
I love seeing those Claiborne silks, some of the great silks in the game. And I'll tell you the truth, Jaunt is improving in her recent starts for Shug McGahee, and she finished behind some nice runners in her last start.
Lady Joan down to 5-2 right now, trained by Phil Serpi. Luis Saez rides.
Yeah, I think the public is reading the racing form and realizing that this filly's going to be in front for a long time, the New York bred.
Bouncy, there she is. Start number 2 coming up for Augustin Stable and Grand Motion.
Let's see if she's more professional, can build in her debut. If she does, she could be a stakes horse.
6 is out. Double cast the 7. 1 for 13 lifetime for Leo O'Brien.
She prefers more distance, and this race looks like a prep to stretch out next time.
Yeah, making her 4-year-old debut. She's 12-1. And Momentiempo for Jimmy Toner, the daughter of Medaglia d'Oro.
I really feel that this is the main threat to your favorite. This is a filly that has a ton of talent. Her first race at Saratoga on the dirt was pretty darn good, and her races on turf have been good too.
Race 8 coming up. We're going to take a break in the action. We're going to talk Met Mile and the contenders. 3-year-old Bolt d'Oro leaving the Triple Crown to take on the Met Mile. We'll be back. Back on Belmont Park Live on this Thursday afternoon. 8th race is coming up, of course, on June the 9th. Third and final leg of the Triple Crown. And Gronkowski, this was yesterday at Belmont Park. Possible to face your Derby and Preakness winner.
It's New York. Does Gronkowski get booed on the track in New York? What do you think?
No, his family lives in New York. I think they're going to love Gronkowski.
Everybody loves Gronkowski, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, true.
It's a good sport, right? You probably love it if they booed him.
But everyone's rooting for Justify, right?
Not everyone. Bill Mott's not.
Overwhelmingly, the crowd, I think, will be.
Yes.
8th race getting close here. We're 4 minutes away. We've got an odds-on favorite now, 4-5 on Bouncy Bill, with more on some of the other contenders. Let's go to Maggie.
We'll see if she can run to that 4-5 backing, but she's also going to have to run to the likely pace setter in here in Lady Joan, who looks to control this race. And I will say that as she is second off of the bench here, she kind of got the pre-race sillies, for lack of a better term, out of her system, because last time she was just a little bit too fresh, a little too wound up, and today she's much more relaxed, and I think that bodes well for her in conserving this energy, because I'm always a bit skeptical of her in getting a mile and a 16th. She's going to try it here today, and she might get an easy time up on the front end, and like I said, I like the way she's behaving, but still, I do like her at a shorter distance. What do you guys think?
I agree with Maggie. I think, Greg, that Lady Joan is a very nice horse. Yeah. I think she wants a mile and 16th, even as a controlling speed. That's going to be a little bit of a stretch.
Well, it depends how big she can open up, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And how
fast
she has to go.
You know, and I also wonder, I mean, if Bouncy breaks okay today, why would she be that far out of it? And I'll tell you something, we haven't even talked about this horse, Greg, the one.
This is the Claiborne filly, again from the last crop of Harlan's Holiday. Jaunt, coming off a third-place finish at Aqueduct last time out.
She's got one of the greatest trainers in the game, Paul. She seems to be improving. You look at her from a speed standpoint, she seems to be getting better with every start. Now, she was third last time, in some ways by default.
Probably needed it.
To superior horses. I mean, not only is Tizelle very good, the Jimmy Bond winner, but the second horse is a Juddmonte horse that Chad Brown got that he thinks is a very nice horse. Now, she didn't run her best race, but I don't think Jaunt is impossible here.
Not at all. You know, her race 2 back, she got left at the gate, and listen, you cannot make up ground like that at Gulfstream Park, especially when they go 113. Got out of the gate a little bit better last time out, showed a little bit more speed. Yeah, I mean, out of that good damn check, I would think John's taking a little money here at 5-1 is going to be sitting a good trip.
Yeah, Tizelle, she faced last time out. She's just a notch below a stakes quality horse.
Well, I'm going to think Jimmy Bond might be looking. She's in New York, but I think maybe we may see her on Monday in the stakes. She's okay.
It's very good.
Really okay.
Meanwhile, on the outside, Moment Tiempo for Jimmy Toner, making her 4-year-old debut. And what about off the bench here for her?
Well, the scratches really helped her because not only obviously we lose some talent in here, but she moves in from that difficult 8-post to the 5-post. So a smaller field makes her trip much easier. She, too, though, could be a bit pace compromised in here, and that could be a real problem for her.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's really going to depend what happens the first quarter mile, whether the 2 wants to bunch the field up, Luis Saez, or he wants to space him out. Because if he bunches them up, it might be to the advantage of the 5 and 8. They might have the best kick.
I agree, Paul. I think if you're on the 2, I think you send. Try to open up for
especially with the way this course is set up on the inner turf. I mean, you have a big advantage inside with speed, right?
Yeah, why bunch the field if your horse can't get the distance? If my horse has trouble getting the distance, I want to make him get brave to come get me.
2-1 on that speedster we're talking about. Lady Joan, it will be Luis Saez on board. There she is, daughter of Courageous Cat. The one to catch and helped by the fact, first of all, helped with the great post position, the way this course is set up, and helped with the fact that the 3 scratched.
Oh, Initiate was a big scratch. You know,
big
you don't.
Scratch.
I wonder what the situation with Initiate scratching. You don't know. I mean, she could have been sick. She could have had an issue, but maybe she'll have some confidence in Jaunt, his other horse in the race.
You know, Lady Joan, like the other part about her, she's in good form. 4th, 1st, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, 2nd.
Tries every time out.
She is lunch pail every time she comes to work, ready to play. So that's what makes her dangerous, because if you look at her PPs, she's never been on the front end alone. She got that length lead like 2 back, but is she going to try to take this field gate to wire today? I think she has to.
She has to. She cannot win this race rating.
And meanwhile, you brought up a good point, Andy, with the 5 bounce here, a 4-5 favorite. Now, we have no idea what her running style is.
Yeah, you're right. We don't know because of the break last time. Yeah. And, you know, the funny thing about Bouncy also, and I picked Bouncy and think she is the horse to beat in here, but you take it 4 to 5 on the come that she improves a little bit, right? That she's more professional and she gets it done. I mean, it's not like she's running against a bunch of horses with no ability.
That's true. That's true. And I think the 2's getting bet because of the pace. I think the 8's going to be a nice filly. I really, truly think that. And I think that's the 5's competition. But the pace sets up for the 2.
And a lot of times, look, you break bad first time, and there's no guarantee you're going to break clean second time out.
True.
You would hope so.
True.
But
I agree. Yeah, you hope she's more professional. I'm really interested in seeing what Bouncy does because, and I agree with you, Paul, by the way, about the 8, Montiempo. I think this horse could be okay as well, and I respect Jimmy Toner as much as any trainer in the game. But it feels like Bouncy, if she can get more professional, could be a pretty good one.
She just moved in. The 5, the 1 to beat, Daughter of Twirling Candy for Graham Motion. Race 8 set to go. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing, Larry Colmus with the call.
The last 2 to move into the starting gate, Double Cast and Momentiempo. Even money right now on Bouncy. As Double Cast goes in, Momentiempo will just wait for Double Cast, who's been a touch reluctant to go into the starting gate. The assistant starters working on Double Cast right now as the other 3 in the gate stand quietly. Double Cast continues to resist a bit, but is almost in there. And now appears to be in the gate. Nope, she's backed out one more time. And John Velasquez dismounts.
Jockey Trevor McCarthy there waiting patiently as this outstanding gate crew here for Naira getting our American Star. I'm sorry, John Velasquez and Double Cast. They're getting settled in there for trainer Leo O'Brien.
Yeah, right for his father-in-law.
You ready? He's standing here.
But they do their job.
He's an old pro.
All right, let's go back to Larry Colmus. Here we go, race 8 from Belmont.
And now Momentiempo goes forward and in. They're all in line. Double Cast still restless in there. They're off. And an even beginning as Lady Joan goes on to lead them with Momentiempo on the far outside. Jaunt down toward the inside in Double Cast, and Bouncy will be last early on as Lady Joan will set the pace. Lady Joan out there by a length. Momentiempo on the outside running in second as they make their way to the backstretch. Double Cast is third. And then on the outside, it's Bouncy and Jaunt down toward the inside, trailing the field, some 3 lengths off of front-running Lady Joan and Luis Saez. They're on top by 3/4 of a length. Momentiempo second, 24.63 that opening quarter mile. Double Cast is third on the inside. Bouncy is up running in fourth. Jaunt now trailing the quintet up the backstretch, 4 lengths from Lady Joan. Lady Joan leading them along here, 3/4 of a length to Momentiempo. Double Cast third on the inside. Bouncy travels along in fourth under Jose Ortiz, going well at this stage. 3 lengths off the lead, 49.64 was the half. And then Jaunt trailing the field around the far turn. Luis Saez and Lady Joan out there, 3/4 of a length. Bouncy moves now and rallies up on the outside into second past Momentiempo. Double Cast is fourth on the inside and Jaunt. Lady Joan about to be taken on here by Bouncy. Lady Joan put to a ride, trying to shake away. Bouncy, yet to be set down, is 3/4 of a length off of her as they turn for home. Jaunt is next on the outside, then Double Cast along the rail. Lady Joan trying to hold off this challenge of Bouncy. Jaunt is trying to get involved too. Double Cast is down on the inside and not giving up. Lady Joan is still there. Bouncy, Double Cast, and Jaunt do not get to Lady Joan, who won it by 3/4 of a length. It was a photo there. Bouncy and Double Cast for second. Jaunt was fourth in 142.06.
A little bit of a perfect storm for Lady Joan in here. Gets a nice post position on the inner turf where it pays to be drawn inside. Lone speed. The 3 was scratched and goes to the front. Keeps on going.
Good job by Luis Saez. Put her in the right position. And a good job by Jose Ortiz. He did all he could do on Bouncy. Had every chance to go by.
I'm going to disagree with that, actually. I agree with that. She had every chance to go by. And Louis Saez used her speed. Leigh Jones, a very talented, a New York bred, a terrific horse. By the way, double cast ran very well, maybe a second. My question with Bouncy is, she broke well. You know that the pace is going to be slow. You know the horse inside of the two is going to go. Why did Jose take her back to last, only to have to swing 3 wide mid-race to go around? Wouldn't she be better off just stalking her the whole way? That's what I'm wondering about.
It's that debut. He was on board for that debut. Did that influence him, you think, at all?
Listen, maybe he's riding to instructions. Maybe Graham Oates said, I want you to take the horse back to last. But she broke so well, why wouldn't he look to go on with it? I mean, speed has been the theme of today's show, right?
That has been the theme. He's right about that. And you can't let a horse of this quality go 113 over this turf course. That's ridiculous.
Well, you look at it, right? They came home in, 28 and 3/5 seconds, just under 28 and 3/5 seconds, actually. Tough to close under those circumstances. Even Leigh Jones doesn't really want to go this far. She got a big advantage here. I think Bouncy ran fine. I'm just not sure why she was taken all the way back to last, but maybe it was riding to instructions.
Harlan's Punch, who won race number 6, went 6 furlongs in 1:10.
Different course.
Different course. I get it, but still, it's 3 seconds slower, Andy.
Different course. Yeah. I don't disagree, but that was a slow pace too.
Mind your biscuits. Getting ready for the Run Happy Met Mile. Going to preview that race when we come back. You're watching Belmont Park Live. We'll return with more in just a moment.
This 3-time graded stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and horse of the year Up With the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. Runner-up in the Grade 1 Manhattan and Shadwell Turf Mile, Ironicus ran 7 triple-digit buyers, including this score in the Fort Marcy Stakes. Half to 4 graded stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by distorted humor. Ironicus at Clayton Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live, race 8 in the books, and it's Lady Joan getting to the front and keeps on going. Let's go downstairs to Maggie.
And I'm joined by the real brains behind the Serpy operation, and Lisa Brodkowski. And Lisa, you're a familiar face for everybody around the racetrack, but for those who don't know you, I mean, you have pretty much done everything, and you still gallop horses, and you're one of the best hands out there.
Thank you, Maggie. I appreciate that.
And I'm sure you gallop Lady Joan. And how is she doing heading into this race, second off the bench?
She's her normal, really difficult self to gallop, but she's doing really well, actually. We were really pretty much looking forward to her running like this today.
And Lisa, not only are you a presence in the mornings, but you're also out here. I see you looking at horses every afternoon. You're here with Phil running them, and you must love your job.
I do. I love every aspect of the job. You know, we claim some horses, so we check the horses out after races and, looking at the competition for the future, and it's just great. This game is great.
And back to Lady Joan real quick. I mean, she's a filly that's shown a lot of promise. She's a New York bred. Where do you go with her from here? Do you look at those New York bred races?
Yeah, that was our option if this race didn't go. We were actually going to run her in the Mount Vernon on Monday, so I guess that'll be her next stop.
Awesome. Looking forward to her up in Saratoga as well. Congrats to all of you guys.
Thanks, Maggie.
All right, Greg.
Happy connections and Lisa Bartkowski, important part of that team for Phil Serpy, winning for the 4th time in now 12 career starts. And we talked about it before they ran this race. This filly's remarkably consistent.
She is. She's a really nice horse. Phil does a terrific job, and I've known Lisa I've been around the track forever, and I've known Lisa as long as I've been going to the racetrack. She's terrific.
$5.40 down to 8 to 5 in the end.
Speed kills.
Does. We've seen it in both our turf races this afternoon. Speed has been deadly, and we have one more to come on the turf in the nightcap. Time to celebrate for those connections. Naira bets late pick five follow along, total pull 40,000 plus. More, not necessarily chalk, second choice on the board. Odds-on favorite defeated here. So we got one leg to go, but we have that $18 winner, so we'll see what happens. McCracken talk Met Mile and his plans on the Belmont undercard when we come back.
Make Naira Bets your home for online horse racing and betting. Start earning your sign-up bonus right now. With Naira Bets, you can use our state-of-the-art website to bet on live horse racing at over 200 tracks around the world. Bet anywhere, anytime, using your computer or mobile device. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Build your bankroll with our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now at NairaBets.com and start earning your sign-up bonus now. Naira Bets, racing's best play.
Bayern turning for home in front. Coast of New York on the outside. California Chrome in third. Shared Belief laboring back there in fifth. 1 furlong to run. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome on the outside. The three of them come to the wire. Bayern, Coast of New York. California Chrome. Here's the finish. Bayern holds on.
Watching Belmont Park Live on MSG Plus. George Washington statue there at Federal Hall on the Lower East Side. And we got one more to come here on this Thursday afternoon as we get our week started after 3-day weekend. Run Happy, one of the sponsors of our show, and the Run Happy Met Mile going to be part of a loaded undercard on Belmont Stakes Day. Run Happy, of course, sensational sprinter, undefeated as a sprinter, reeled off 6 consecutive victories in a row. He was 7 for 7 sprinting, won at 6 different racetracks, and was your 2015 Eclipse Award winner as champion sprinter. He's on the farm in Paris, Kentucky, at Claiborne Farm in legendary stall number 1. Can't wait to see his runners on the racetrack.
And a horse so good that a great race like the Met Mile deserves to have his name attached to it.
Hey, you were just talking about, we were talking off camera about American Pharoah getting beat at Saratoga. And in your eyes, it was Run Happy who stole that day.
I thought Run Happy's performance in that King's Bishop was one of the great performances I've ever seen in that race. I've seen some great horses win it, and it overshadowed, to me, the performance by American Pharoah and Keen Ice in the Travers.
Well, the Run Happy Met Mile, you're going to see a 3-year-old, Volt Dioro, line up, stepping away from the Triple Crown, going to tackle older horses.
Yeah, and listen, you could argue that maybe him and Good Magic were about even last year as the better 2-year-olds. Good Magic has proved to be the better 3-year-old. And then Mick Lewis just plain out said, Bob has a beast. Let's go to the Met Mile. We can't beat him.
I'm not saying he would have won the Derby. Whoever came up with the plan to be near the pace of the Kentucky Derby was badly mistaken. And this is a very good horse. And there is a storied history of 3-year-olds and some very good ones winning the Met Mile. I mean, most famously, Conquistador Cielo winning it, and 5 days later coming back and winning the Belmont Stakes. But Holy Bull has won this race. Honor and Glory has won this race. A very good horse won this race named Dixie Brass. So there have been some excellent 3. Gulch won it. When Gulch won the Met Mile for the first time, he won it twice. He won it after running in the Derby, the Preakness. He came back 9 days later, won the Met Mile, beating Broadbrush, tremendous older horse, and then he came back and ran in the Belmont Stakes just 12 days later.
Incredible.
And that was after running, I think, in the Gotham and the Wood Memorial 2 weeks and 2 weeks each before the Triple Crown.
And everything you read now is Justify's going to run 6 times in 120
right,
days.
yeah, the poor thing can't come back.
Right.
And here was Gulch, who ran 6 times in a matter of 9 weeks.
That's
and he
good.
had a win in the Wood Memorial over Gone West and a win over Olders in the Met Mile. Incredible.
Still, when you win those races, it's made it a little different, a little more taxing from those horses. One of the horses he'll be facing in that group, of course, Mind Your Biscuits, who proved he still got it over in Dubai.
Isn't it harder to lose? I don't know. I think the winners have an easier time. But this was quite a performance by Mind Your Biscuits, making this huge run to get it done. He did save ground. He angled out, but man, this was impressive. Wow.
It really was, considering his recent form, but he just loves Dubai, and he's got that great style. Silky Sullivan from way out of it.
Can he get the distance? Can he get the mile? That's the question.
I mean, more proven, really, what, at 6 and 7?
Yeah. It's a terrific closing sprinter, but they don't always want to finish like that at a mile.
Yeah.
We'll take plenty of support. Going to be great to see him back. And he has had a nice campaign over the last few years. Chad Summers done a great job with him. Meanwhile, McCracken going to be lining up for this one as well, who we saw have a great later part of the year and now back for its 4-year-old campaign. Can he be a factor in this race?
Absolutely. This horse is born to run a 1-turn mile, Paul.
Yeah, he is. It seems like Ian Wilkes' horses are born to run the 1-turn mile, or that's 7 furlongs. Yeah, it's right up his alley. And he got tested a little bit in this race. He had a run down to the wire. You can see he gets a tiny bit tired, but Ian Wilkes is the ultimate trainer of setting up a horse for a race. This was just a warm-me-up for the Met Mile.
Well, that was actually last year, I think, in the Matt win. He had a race.
Yeah,
he
race
won
before.
a 1-turn mile race at Churchill, I think on Derby Day, actually. And the problem with him is he's a horse that has this burst, but he sometimes gets the lead and he gets run down.
Yeah,
maybe the mile will work for him though.
He waited a little bit in the Haskell. He sometimes has to be timed perfect. He has to be timed perfect.
Yeah.
But he's got a
tough
ton of
horse to
talent.
ride, but a good horse.
Yeah.
And it was him and Gervin in that Haskell. That was a thrilling finish last summer. So yet another intriguing name going to be in the mix in that Run Happy Met Mile on a tremendous day of racing. 6 grade 1s on that afternoon. And, of course, there's going to be an Ira Betts late pick 5. There's going to be some big news with that as well. I don't know if I can say it yet.
Big news.
But I'll wait.
Okay.
Just keep your eyes out.
No
we still
idea
have one to come here on this Thursday afternoon card. This one on the turf, Adam Mile, $75,000 maiden claiming event. Quick look at the field and the current odds. Right now, the entry, Monet Mo Problems from the inside for George Weaver. You also get High Promise, going to break middle of the field for Brian Lynch, part of that favored entry at 7-2. Time now for Maggie Wolfendale and her paddock report, brought to you by Hillendale Farms, Standing Curlin. Maggie?
Well, thank you, Greg, as we'll take a look at the horse who might be second choice in the face of that entry there in number 3, Stock Trade, for trainer Belmont. Now, with the blinkers last time, we saw a different dimension, a different horse, and that he was involved much earlier and ran much better than what he did first time at Gulfstream. Now, that was going a 2-turn 7.5, and now he's going a kind of 1-turn mile. I almost like that better for him. He's a bit of a more stockier type of horse, so I think this kind of distance, this kind of track configuration suits him nicely, and he just looks tremendous here. I like what I'm seeing from him, and he will likely be part of that early flight of horses. Next, we'll check in with Wesley Ward's number 2. He's a kitten, and Wesley's horses just seem to be running out of their skins right now, but this one is one that I actually really, really like the looks of, so therefore he'll probably run up the track, but he is gorgeous. I love the appearance of He's a Kitten, just well muscled, well balanced, and we see the fact that in his first 2 starts he doesn't get out of the gate well. We'll see what he does here. He's going to have to break well here in this race to get a part of it, to be a part of it, I think. And then last time he was just parked very, very wide down there at Keeneland. So hopefully he'll get a better position this time and run to his looks, because, wow, he is a looker. As we'll take a look at number 7, Lil Commissioner. First off the claim and off the layoff here for trainer Robertino Diodoro. Don't love Diodoro horses as much on the turf. Granted, I like Lil Commissioner back last year as a 2-year-old, and he looks great here. I mean, the time away has done him well. He's probably become more athletic, more kind of aerodynamic, more of an athlete, and he's come back here looking extremely well prepared. So we'll see, can he run back to that one good race that he has in his second start of his career here, guys?
Maggie, thank you. We're going to take a look at the 7, Lil Commissioner in action.
He actually ran well. I mean, the horse who beat him actually is okay. Sand Dancer. He came back and won a stake late in the Aqueduct meeting. He's an okay runner, and
8 lengths clear of a next out winner.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't a this wasn't a great field. It was sort of an odd field, but the horse who beat him is okay. His next race was not good. He had a good trip, and he didn't run at all.
I was going to ask you, because I wasn't able to watch that. I was going to ask you, that was a bad trip?
He was bad. No, he had a good trip.
Yeah.
He was bad. And now he's been off. He was claimed out of that race, and now he's been off for almost 7 months. So you do wonder what happened last time, and can he come back? And this is not an easy spot. Diodoro does not have great numbers off the claim of the turf. Doesn't mean the horse can't win, though.
No, I'm with you. You know, you look at some of the other horses in here, the entry's not getting, I guess, played like, I mean, I know they're 3-1, but they're 6-5 on the morning line. So who do you prefer? You have the 1A, High Promise, and that's got to be the one. Yeah, I'm with Andy. Drops for 75 and has speed, and I'm wondering if Paco Lopez is going to go, okay, let's go to the front end. Monet, Mo Problems does have some speed, but coming in from California, I always had this one cardinal rule when I was in California. When they leave for turf, throw them out. When they leave for dirt, they got a shot here, but the turf horses are better here than they are in California.
I don't know. The wild card in here is the 2 horse, He's a Kitten, who on paper, at least to me, looks like he's just completely overmatched and should be 15-1. Wesley Ward's horses, we saw it on Sunday. We've seen it earlier today with 2 horses that were bet off the board that won like they were 1-5 shots. So I'm wondering if the 2 He's a Kitten, who's never shown any speed in his life, doesn't show any ability in his life, is going to suddenly have speed and be a completely different horse today. The peepees of Wesley Ward say yes.
Meanwhile, there's a look at Stock Trade for Belmont. Logical contender here in this spot. He's making career start number 3 and definitely showed improvement in the second start of his career.
Number 7 in here. He breaks about 3/4 of a length to a length slowly. He's already well back. Instead of sort of relaxing, I think the rider, maybe the horse took him there, he ends up chasing after him. And that's okay. He's trying to find position. He thinks he can cut over the 2 path. The problem is, the horse the Red Silk says, I'm having none of that. He bumps him 1 time, he bumps him 2 times. Then a horse in front of him starts a chain reaction.
Yeah.
He gets pushed out to the 4 path. He ends up chasing 3 to 4 wide the entire way with no cover, which is the worst thing you can do on the turf.
Yeah.
Always out of position, and he's on top of the pace, and as you watch in the stretch, you're going to see this race completely falls apart at the end. I thought he ran remarkably well given the trip to run as well as he did with a clean break. He could be the speed.
No, I'm with you. This is Carlos Montalvo aboard. Now you're going to get Jose Ortiz. Right. And, you know, listen, Carlos, you're right. He probably should have, in hindsight, should have taken back in front of that crowd. And he should have taken back again 3 wide, but he just didn't do any of that. The horse broke a little slow, and he's eager. There is not a lot of base in here. Again, if he breaks better, he's going to sit a great trip. That blinkers helped him out last time.
And you talk about pace, and there's the 2 again, the Wesley Ward runner, and you see a 5-furlong bullet drill back on May the 10th at Keeneland on the main track. Is that to put some zip in this horse?
It seems like all of these horses for Wesley Ward that we have seen win, and 3 of them won in a period of 6 races between Sunday and here. They all came from Keeneland, and they all had fast works. So we may see a very, very different horse, and this horse is bet and should not be bet off his PPs.
Well, the one thing about Wesley Ward horses, they're not good. They're always great gate horses. This one isn't.
He will be today.
Yeah, you would think. Has had a history, though, getting out of the gate slow this one. Here's part of the entry, and we'll get post 1. Monet Mo. Problems for George Weaver.
I feel sorry for Larry Comas having to call his name. He has turf races that are good enough to give him a chance.
Rajiv Mirage will be aboard entry mate. I promise Paco Lopez for Brian Lynch.
This is the one I think they're betting in the entry. First time in a maiden claiming race with plenty of races fast enough, but he's also lost some races at short prices.
We jump ahead to the 3 stock trade. Jose Ortiz, Belmont.
As discussed, my top choice in here off his trip last time.
3-1 on stock trade. Making his 3rd career start here, son of Motivator. Here's the 4, Rucksack, son of Blame for Nick Zito.
Yeah, and a horse that does have a little bit of speed, but showed it on a sloppy racetrack last time out.
6-1. On the 4, can do anything. Ghost Sapper 3-year-old. Irad Ortiz Jr. for Alan Goldberg.
Hasn't run in 9 months, but could actually be the speed. Is a half to 4 horses that won on the turf, trying the turf for the first time.
And we backtrack to the Wesley Ward run of the 2 here. Drops in for a tag for the first time. And could this one be showing speed today?
I would think so. I don't know. I mean, this horse was 49 and change last time and was not even close to the pace, so I don't even know what to make anymore.
But again, that bullet drill at Keeneland back on May the 10th here to set it up for this. Just in spite of it, the 6. Paulo Fragoso on board, showed some speed last time out. And Rahi on the bottom side, 2nd on the turf.
Well, Ian Hemingway, who had this horse, decided to put this horse on turf, so maybe Jaime Gutierrez is taking some of his advice.
A little bit interesting. Little Commissioner is the 7. David Cohen, Robertino Diodoro.
Has a good race in the turf 2 races back, not last time. How will he run off a layoff in a tough field?
And Freeload on the outside. Jose Lizcano, David Canizzo.
Everybody has one of these. Here's my problem. You go from a maiden special weight to maiden 40, you go from 63-1 to a little bit under 2-1, and you didn't get the job done. I thought this horse was a bet against.
That is your field for the nightcap here. Race 9 coming up at a mile on the turf to close out our Thursday afternoon card. This is happening. Mystery Mutual vouchers. Sign up for your chance to win up to $1,000. You can register at NYRA.com/mystery voucher. It's just the first, 2,500 who enter, and that's it?
2,500 only, and you have until midnight tomorrow night.
So you better start.
But, you got to be at Belmont on Memorial Day to turn your voucher in.
No
reason not to be here
get
anyway.
in on this. Only 2,500, could be a $1,000 voucher. Take advantage. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. A couple of Claiborne Stallions represented in the nightcap.
And multiple Grade 1 performer by Tapit, has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked number 1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Belmont Park Live, that's a barn that has won a gazillion races. Todd Fletcher Racing Stables. I think the rest of the trainers happy to see he is not in this race. With more on the 5, let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And he's one of 2 horses trying the turf for the first time. That is Can Do Anything in here for trainer Alan Goldberg. He's also coming back off of a layoff in which he was 3rd on the dirt as a 2-year-old. He is by Go Sapper, but the bottom side, it's a pretty decent turf pedigree. A 1/2-2 means well, tap it out. And looking at him, I think he'll certainly take to the turf. And he does look fit in here. The only problem I have is coming back off that considerable layoff and given his kind of physical makeup, not sure if a mile is the most ideal distance first off the layoff. So we'll see what he does here, but I do think it's the right kind of surface change for number 5, Can Do Anything. Number 4 is Rucksack, and he's got a decent turf pedigree as well. He's a 1/2-2 turf horse in Al Jalala, who took to the turf quite nicely. He looks like he'll handle it. He's a big, good-looking type. He'll need to improve for sure, but at least he's shown some speed in his efforts on the dirt, and a lot of times it's a bit easier to carry that speed on the turf as opposed to the dirt. Another one switching from turf to or dirt to turf is the 1A, High Promise in here, and I feel like last time he was coming back off a long layoff, he just did not look that fit whatsoever. And it's almost as if he was just getting a race under his belt, because a dirt race will tighten a horse up a lot more than a turf race and take a lot more out of them. And it's put him right where he needs to be, at least in my eyes. And he's getting back to arguably his better surface and more preferred surface on the turf here as he finally runs for a tag for the first time for Brian Lynch. Greg?
Maggie Thankson appears to be the tougher half of that entry, and the half that's getting bet now down. We saw 3-1, no more, 8-5 on the entry.
Yeah, and do you want to go down that way or not, that path, then the horse does have good form.
Well, meanwhile, Stock Trade 3-1, 3rd time out for Belmont, 2nd time with blinkers after trying Kentucky Downs and then Gulfstream.
I'm with you, Paul. I like this horse a lot.
After watching that replay, how can you not? If the horse breaks okay, the son of Motivator, I just think that he's going to be in a really good spot. The Green Monster came out of that race to win. I think the blinkers will help. You see Maggie has her mark on the 2. He's a Kitten, and we'll see what happens if Wesley Ward can keep on rolling.
Where does he do most of his damage, though? Sprints.
That's a good point. That's a good point. And the way his horses are running, I think you have to be scared of that horse.
I would tread lightly. I would use. He gets in those kind of streaks where he just gets on fire.
There's Stock Trade stepping in line. Entry, though, favored at 6-5. Let's send it upstairs. The voice of the Triple Crown with the call to close out the card, Larry Colmus.
There goes Stock Trade into the starting gate, along with Just In Spite of It. Rucksack moving into line with Lil Commissioner. Freeload will be the last one to move into the starting gate. Freeload stepping forward and in. They're all in line. They're off. And He's a Kitten was a step slow out of there. Good beginning for Rucksack on the inside, who's flashing some early speed. Just In Spite of It goes with Rucksack. High Promise came out running in 3rd. Freeload is 4th on the outside, just ahead of Lil Commissioner. Then it's Can Do Anything on the inside. Break of 2 to Monet Mo Problems. And the 2 trailers are Stock Trade and slow starting He's a Kitten. Up the backstretch they go. Just In Spite of It. Long shot out here through a 22.7 quarter on top by 2.5 lengths. With Rucksack on the inside running in 2nd. Freeload is 3rd to the outside. High Promise tracks 4th. Lil Commissioner 5th. Racing 4.5 lengths off the lead, moving for the far turn. Can Do Anything, Monet Mo Problems, 7 lengths from the top, and they're clear of Stock Trade and He's a Kitten on the inside. Around the far turn, the half, 46 seconds flat for this 79-1 long shot. Just In Spite of It and Pablo Fregoso, who lead the way by 2 lengths on the turn. With Rucksack on the inside running in 2nd. Freeload is alongside in 3rd. Lil Commissioner is 4th. Then High Promise toward the inside in 5th. Looking for a place to go is High Promise, who got caught in traffic behind this tiring front runner. Just got absolutely stopped to a walk right behind that horse. They're into the stretch, and now it is wide open. And here comes Lil Commissioner. And on the far outside, here comes Stock Trade. Between those two, Monet Mo Problems. And from dead last, He's a Kitten on the far outside. Coming down to the final 16th, it is Stock Trade. Stock Trade is going to do it here by a head on the wire. He's a Kitten was second, and then it's Monet Mo Problems. 4th was a Photo. High Promise came all the way back. Can Do Anything, and Lil Commissioner there as well in 135.24.
Stock Trade gets it done. 3rd time out. And 2 of the horses that were last and second to last early fly late.
Well, Wesley Ward, who the only way he can lose if he breaks 2 lengths beyond the field with He's a Kitten, and the number 3 Stock Trade, the eventual winner, both of them had trouble early. Wesley Ward broke slow with He's a Kitten, and Stock Trade got steadied after the start, but they were going so quickly early. Look at the difference in the pace in this race between the first one, and it enabled to close. And also, to be fair, Paul, the 1A got caught up in traffic, as Larry mentioned, and that made it easier to circle the field.
It was a good ride. It was a really good ride. He sort of just like, he drafted off the 1, Ricky Bobby. It was shake and bake. It really was. And then the 2 drafted off the 3, but he just got there too late. And the live money again was there for Wesley Ward.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Right? And the 2 did not break well at all in this race.
And I tell you, like Jose Ortiz deserves a lot of credit. Maybe we could watch this, if not here, after the break. Jose knew that Wesley Ward, the 2, had a horse inside of him. Because he was inside him on the backstretch. And I think around the turn, if you watch around the turn, maybe around the 3/8 to 5/16 pole, this will be the start, and you'll see the 2 get left and the 3 steady.
The 3.
Well, the 3 will steady. The 2 gets left, and then the 3 we stumbled.
Wow, they're both the best.
But Jose realizes he's got to keep the 2 in. He's thinking, I don't want to go too wide, but I also don't want to let the 2 out.
Yeah.
And I think he kept the 2 in clearly just enough, so by the time the 2 got clear, he couldn't catch him. Jose deserves a lot of credit. It was a very crafty ride.
So does this horse. To his knees, and then what, 7 wide down the stretch to win this race?
Well, he didn't angle out till late. Jose did a great job of losing as little ground as possible.
That replay that Andy showed you all you needed to know. He had such a brutal trip last time, and again, he didn't get a candy trip today, and he was able to get the job done.
Yeah, I think this was an interesting bunch of race riding. And just remember, while we won, the 1A did have trouble.
Yeah, true.
3, 2, 1, 7. You get 4 to 1 on Stock Trade if you happen to have this one to close out the card. We're not done. We're back with more next.
In New York, the premier state-bred program in the United States. When you own a New York bred, your horse can run for more than $44 million in purses restricted to registered New York breds. And the New York program pays awards to breeders, owners, and stallion owners when their New York breds finish 1st, 2nd, or 3rd at New York tracks. We have the quality. Audible, no doubt about it. You have the opportunity. New York breds, get with the program. The best program.
Back on Belmont Park Live. in the books here on this Thursday afternoon at Belmont Park. Stock Trade getting the win. Jose Ortiz, well done to get this horse to the wire first. Son of Motivator breaking his maiden career start, number 3 for the Belmont barn. We'll send it downstairs to Maggie. An eventful ride here from this tremendous young rider.
That it was. And Jose, you were mentioning that both you and Joel Rosario's horse, He's a Kitten, had a bit of a trouble beginning.
Yeah, we broke good on the second jump. Like, my horse stumbled real bad, like second, third, fourth jump. And I think Rosario did the same thing. I mean, but they both run well.
They did, and you kind of having the advantage of being outside of He's a Kitten and ultimately getting first jump on him.
Yeah, I think that was the difference. When I got the jump on him, he got away and go outside of me. And I think that was the point where I beat him.
Well, you're a very humble man, but you're the Eclipse Award-winning jockey of 2017 for a reason. Job well done here in the last again, Jose.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
One of the best in the game right now.
I really think, as far as a young rider, he's tremendous. And I can't say enough about the subtle things he does like this to win races. And this was one where Jose made the difference. Very smart ride.
You make a good point. He's so instinctually good. You can understand why he had a baseball background. He sort of reads things before they truly do happen. He understands who's in front of him, who the speed is, what he needs to do as well. I mean, this guy, I've been watching for the last year and a half. He is something special.
How about this Naira Bets late pick 5 follow along, 50-cent payout over $1,000 with 3 pretty short price horses in there.
Yeah, not bad at all, considering Harlan's Hunch was the one horse hard to get to.
Stock Trade was second choice morning line.
Yeah.
So basically you had one price in the race, in the sequence.
Yeah, it feels like it paid about 40% to 60%, 80% over the parlay.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed our show. Thursday's in the books. We got a whole week ahead of us, though. And of course, you'll see us on Monday for Memorial Day. Back in the 8th, Lady Joan Luis Saez using speed to go all the way on the front end over the inner turf course. Speed was very dangerous today on the turf. We will see you back tomorrow. Same time, 4 to 6 Eastern. Talk more Belmont, more Justify, and of course, a great card on Friday afternoon. Have a great weekend.